I'm a little fan.
3, 2, 3. Hey guys, we're going to get ready in about 2 or 3 minutes. So if you have a sign, if you could kind of, I know it's stand behind the coaches, and then if you're speaking, you can kind of write your name. Yes, yes. Do you mind going so I had it all. Yeah.
How much time was Well, when Coach Carroll gets up there, he's going to dance and won't be bored.
Is he dancing? No, yeah, they're just taking it live. Okay,
Are they asking questions there from the studio?
No, we're just it's a one-way conversation.
We're good at that.
Okay. Get started in about 2 minutes. 2 minutes.
Hey, yeah, but they're willing to literally get started when you're ready, quite frankly. You tell me. Are you looking at 2 minutes too? 3.
3 minutes. 3 minutes.
All right, we're going to give you 3 minutes, but I'm going to stick with it.
Where else were you looking at going? Duke all the way.
I had Nebraska and Kansas.
Oh, cool. You get the tour?
I didn't get a chance. I only know something. I'm not worried about that.
All right. 3 minutes. Did you meet these coaches, by the way?
No, I haven't. This is an inside joke from Marlon. I beat him to get it. We've missed our banter for too long.
Make sure cell phones are on silent.
What'd you say?
Make sure cell phones are on silent.
Yes.
Appreciate it.
That's a good reminder. Yes. 2
Like
minutes? I keep asking you 2 minutes. 2 minutes. Okay, 2 minutes for the speakers and really for everybody. If you can make sure your cell phone is silenced or on vibrate. Yeah, and just so you guys, I don't need it. Just so you guys know, KUSI is going to take it live, which is a little unique for a press conference. Normally they just do it on Facebook and then they'll play it back later. But KUSI is literally going live, so that's why we're just trying to match up right at the time. So.
Nobody do anything weird.
Yeah. No Janet Jackson, no. Okay, we want to get in place? Get in, Mark?
No wardrobe malfunction.
All right. So just look to Ed here. Ed will kind of give you the signal and then be ready to go.
No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah, Ron, you're doing a great job. You can give them
All right, I'm going to give Jim Desmond the cue. So give me one. Make sure everybody understands. So many guys don't like to take orders.
Army of volunteers. I guarantee that.
Yes. He'll the gentleman that
And make sure a motorcycle goes by right at the start, yeah.
leaf blower.
Yeah, leaf blower, yeah, there you go. Give me 6 feet, if you could move up, just because I'm not gonna have the mask on when I'm speaking. Thank you. Well, hello everyone. I'm Supervisor Jim Desmond, and I've been advocating for businesses, churches, and schools to be allowed to safely reopen. And we are here today at Torrey Pines High School to safely support
and safely let our kids play. This is a grassroots movement. Today at 4 p.m., several rallies will take place at schools and district offices throughout the state and the county to safely open youth sports. Today we have a star student, Mandela Tobin, who's from Westfield High School, and he's going to share his story with us. And from all over San Diego County, we have coaches from Torrey Pines High School, Oceanside High School, La Jolla High School, Cathedral Catholic High School, and Scripps Ranch High School. We also have the North Coast Cheer Coordinator and the CEO of Surf Cup Sports is with us today. We are all in support. Every one of us is in support of stopping the virus and safely allowing our youth to play sports. From the Scotties at Helix High to the Pirates of Oceanside High to the Falcons right here at Torrey Pines, the message is clear. Let our kids play. These coaches know their student athletes better than anyone else. Sometimes the student athletes will respond more to a coach than they will their own parents. But we know that they have struggles. The coaches know about struggles these athletes have at school, on the field, and at home. And they're more than coaches. They're mentors. They're leaders. And to some, they're family. High school can be difficult, but sports provide opportunities that some of these students wouldn't otherwise have. It's not just about playing a game. It's about learning, growing, discipline, and setting a course for your life. It's about team building, and achieving a goal with each other. Sports provide life skills you just can't learn anywhere else. And in life and in sports, when you're down and things aren't working, what you need to do is assess your strengths and your weaknesses. Our weaknesses in COVID are our elderly and our infirm. Our strengths are our youth. Let our kids play. But rights come with responsibilities. Off the field, coaches, I would implore your emphasis that players must wear masks and socially distance from the elderly and from their parents and grandparents. And also, when things are down, you don't just stick to the same old plan. You make adjustments. And it's time that adjustments were made in this state and we let our kids play. For thousands of senior student athletes across our county, these arbitrary lockdowns mean never playing again for their school, never putting on that jersey one last time. One of these students is with us here today, Mandela Tobin. He plays defensive line at Westfield High School, and he'll soon be going to Duke to play football. It's my pleasure to introduce and have a few words for Mr. Mandela Tobin. Mandela.
Thank you for having me today. I would like to just show my support about why we should play this upcoming spring. I know COVID has been a very traumatic thing for the entire country and has made our lives very different from all the past years we've been on this earth. But that doesn't mean we should not play. COVID is dangerous, and we should find ways to make sure that there are no ways to have it come in and affect us play. But playing is why we need to be on the field. Playing football or any other sport is so vital to many teenagers across the country, and especially here in the state of California. It's not just playing for the sport, it's also moving away from hardships at home, and also moving away from any hardships at school or personal life or anything like that. We play so that we can release ourselves and make sure we have fun and make us forget any hardships that we have at home. We play to just be ourselves. That's why I'm advocating here for us to play football and any other sport this coming spring. Please, Governor Newsom, please let us play. It is vital for us. And of course, for me, I'm signed with the school already, but that doesn't mean I should forget about all the thousands of athletes across the state. Many other states have already played. Why can't we? Please, let us play. And that's all I have to say. Thank you so much.
I apologize, Mandela. I said Westfield. It's Westview High School. Our next, we're going to have hear from Torrey Pines coach, football coach, Mr. Ron Gladnick.
Thank you for being here. I just want to quickly say, for whatever the reasons for this past week or so, I've been somewhat of the face of this movement, but it's important that everyone knows there are thousands of faces to this movement. There are 600 head high school football coaches, 6,000 assistant coaches, surf, soccer organizations, soon to be baseball. Every outdoor sport will be represented. You're going to hear from other coaches today who love kids. And one of the things we need to be very clear, we as coaches in California stand with teachers. We understand their concerns, we understand their problems, and what we want to do is work together to provide a path for everyone to be safe, for teachers to be safe, but for kids' mental health and well-being to be served. I can't emphasize to you enough, what finally galvanized us was the fact we are 11 months in, and from every adult in the chain of command, kids have been failed miserably. And we are of a belief our governor has a responsibility to our kids over everyone else and everything else. So please, Governor Newsom, hear us, work with us. We're here to help you. We want to help you stop the spread by doing the job well, right, professionally, and good to the benefit of all of our kids. Thank you.
All right, thank you, Coach. Okay, next up we have Melanie Burkhalter, the North County Coast Cheer Coordinator. Melanie.
Thank you, and thank you, Supervisor Desmond, for giving us this opportunity to highlight sports in a little bit of a different way. It's definitely not just about athletics. As the cheer coordinator for the North County Friday Night Lights flag football program, I see a lot of transformation in my cheerleaders. They come as kindergartners through 8th graders, and many on the first day of practice are scared to even raise their hand and ask Coach Mel a question. At the end of 10 weeks, boy, they have an increased self-esteem, self-confidence, and they've learned to play as a team and what teamwork looks like. As a mental health therapist, I've seen an increase in anxiety, depression, ADHD, suicide ideation, suicide attempts, and unfortunately, some of those attempts come to fruition. Sports is not just about athletics, folks. It's about the social, emotional well-being of our athletes. Please, let our athletes play. Thank you very much.
All right, Melanie, thank you very much. Next we have Coach Brian Engie is going to be speaking. Thanks.
Good morning, I'm Brian Engie, CEO of Surf Cup Sports, and I'm happy to be a voice for the sport of soccer in Southern California today. What we are seeing in our sport is that the youth in California are being unjustly punished because of the state they live in. Our sport is successfully being played at the youth, collegiate, and professional level in 46 states across the U.S. and across the globe. Every single weekend across the U.S., kids are getting to play in games, leagues, and tournaments. These kids are happy, these kids are healthy, these kids are safe. Consistent reports come back from coaches, families, kids, parents, and even doctors that the spread of COVID on outdoor youth sports fields is not material. And in fact, youth sports organizations are finding innovative ways to keep their kids safe. Specifically in our sport, what we're seeing is three things. The first thing we're seeing is kids are dropping out at an alarming rate. The common refrain we hear is, why should I get out of bed and practice and work hard if there's not going to be a game or a season? What's the point? The second thing we're seeing amongst athletes in California is they're losing out on scholarships. Deserving athletes in California are losing out on scholarships to lesser athletes in states like South Carolina, New Jersey, and Utah. And what we hear from college coaches is, how can I bet on an athlete when I haven't seen them play in almost a year? Sadly, this is impacting low-income families more than any, because it's those families that truly rely on college scholarships to pay for college. And finally, what we're seeing is frustration, almost revolt amongst parents. These are parents who have watched their kids play for 6 months on the practice field. These are parents who have spent thousands of dollars to travel out of state to play games. All the meanwhile, they've seen their kids safe, their kids' friends safe, and their kids' teammates safe. Meanwhile, the government is telling them that it's not safe to play sports. They're confused, they're frustrated, and I think that's what it leads us to today. And in closing, I would simply say, leaders like Nathan Fletcher and Governor Newsom continue to hide behind the remark, "We're just following the science." Our challenge to them is simple. Join all of us coaches and all of us people who are with kids every day and who are in a sports lab with these youth every day, and come do real research on the impact of COVID amongst youth sports athletes. Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you very much, Brian there. He's from CEO of Surf Cup Sports. Next, we're going to have a former Oceanside High School football coach, John Carroll, is going to be speaking. John.
Well, after 26 years as a head football coach, I no longer coach, but I do spend time with the PPR, I do spend time consulting with the CIF, I do spend time mentoring kids, and I am an advocate for kids. I think that's something that we need right now. It's like the teachers union support the teachers. Our county board of supervisors supports the governor, and who is supporting the kids besides their parents? This is not about football. This is not about sports. This is about science. This is about mental health issues for our kids 11 to 17. Let me give you some statistics. First of all, Supervisor Desmond, thank you for showing sympathy in your conversations, in your comments, and thank you for showing empathy and an understanding of the risk to our youth, something that is sorely lacking in the rest of our supervisors and in our governor. Thank you for being the one to put your hat in the ring and to step forward. Ron Gladnick, thank you for leading the group. Science, support the science. So here's from the CDC. This is what our students, what our kids are missing. With school closures and no sports, the CDC itself and many other studies, including the Mental Health of America Association, say that it is harmful developing social, emotional, interpersonal skills, friendships, appropriate group behaviors, and learning to make responsible decisions besides academic deficiencies. It is harmful to mental health and can lead to unhealthy, increased suicide risk. Extended quarantine can lead to PTSD and anger. And what we have found in recent studies is that anxiety has radically gone up, depression has radically gone up, 60 to 90+%, according to the Mental Health Association, and that suicide thoughts amongst 11 to 17-year-olds are somewhere between 25 and 50%. That is a mental health emergency in our young that is not being addressed by our health departments. I challenge them to put kids first, to take care of their mental health, to do it in a safe way. Listen to what these coaches have to say about how they're willing to avoid the risk of COVID and minimize it. Approximately 35 states have already done this. What are we missing? Supervisors, Governor Newsom, 35 states. What are we missing? Let's take care of our kids. Thank you.
Wow, thank you, Coach. All great speakers. Today we have also, La Jolla High School football coach today, Tyler Roach is here.
Thanks for having me. I don't have any prepared remarks. First and foremost, I want to thank all of our healthcare workers out there that have been at the front lines battling this pandemic. We understand that. I'm here today because I'm an advocate of our youth. I want to support them. I want to give them a safe environment, right? I want to be part of the solution. Governor Newsom, hear us. Let's talk, let's work together. Let's get our kids back out doing what they love in a safe manner, following all the protocols and guidelines that have been established and the data across the nation and in the state of California that supports that. Thank you for having me.
All right, thank you, Coach Roach. We next from Cathedral Catholic High School, we have Coach Sean Doyle.
Again, just to reiterate what John Carroll said and what Ron said and everybody up here, this is truly about the safe return to sports for our kids. These kids need it. My players, I definitely can tell every day the stress that it's putting on them. So if we can really look at the science and really look at the numbers that have been put together, we will see that it is a safe thing to play. Thank you.
All right, thanks.
Okay, thanks, Coach. Next we have San Marcos High School Coach Ryan Taylor.
Just as all of our other coaches have said here, we're here for the mental and physical well-being of our players. We believe the data supports what we are trying to do here, and we hope our government officials hear us and help us help our kids. And I also want to thank not only all these coaches, but all the parents and the community members who have been supporting this movement and supporting our kids. Let us play.
Okay, I'm sure all these coaches would agree we're saving the best for last. We have from Scripps Ranch High School football coach Marlon Gardeniera. Marlon, come on.
I don't know about best. While I'm the head football coach at Scripps Ranch High School, I'm here speaking as a parent. I'm a father of 2 high school-age sons, Nicholas and Noah, freshman and senior, a senior who's missing out on quite a bit. But that doesn't make me not aware and understand and respect our healthcare workers, the families of people who've lost someone to COVID. But I'm a parent. I don't need any politician to tell me what's in the best interest of my sons. I need our politicians focused on getting us vaccines. We have a solution, get it to us. I need our politicians focused on proficiency in schools if they could get us back there. But my job as the father is to look out in the best interest of my kids. My pediatrician agrees. And in my role as a coach, I do understand the anxiety and depression. I get the phone calls from parents asking if we could have additional activities to help the kids get away from screens and isolation. So we always have the best interest of kids in mind. We just want this discussion to take in mind the data that says the children are safer in our structured, supervised environments than they are hanging out with their friends. Because if you think parents have been keeping their teenagers locked up since March, you're lying to yourself. They're hanging out with each other. They're going to parties. They're riding around in cars. They're doing all sorts of things that help spread the virus. When they're with us, they have face masks. They're socially distanced. They have a goal. They understand that they're doing all of that for a reason. And the reason for them, whatever sport they choose to play, is a part of lifelong lessons that this society is better off with more kids learning. Hard work, dedication, commitment, perseverance, all of the things that youth sports give our children. So I really want politicians to keep in mind, parents know how to raise their children. Listen to us too. We don't have to be a special interest group. We don't have to be lobbyists. We're parents. Those are my sons. I know exactly what I think is in their best interest. I just need you to listen. Let them play. Thank you.
All right, Coach. Well, sorry to follow up with a politician here, but somebody asked me, what happens when you mix politics and medicine? What do you get? Politics. So I want to thank all the coaches and players that came out here today. I also want to thank all those frontline workers, also all the people in the hospitals that are working extra shifts to keep everybody safe. I feel sorry for anybody who's lost anyone due to COVID, but we're all here to fight the disease, fight the virus, and also to keep our children everyone as safe as we possibly can. I want you to know that, it takes courage to speak out. And trust me, your voices today will all be heard. I want you to know that I'm going to continue to work to get our kids back in the classrooms, get our kids back in competing in sports, and do it all safely. We know how to do the right things. Just give us the opportunity to do the right things, and I think you're going to see 99% of it will go very well. If you treat people like adults, they'll act like it. But this isn't the end of our efforts today. Today at 4 p.m. across the state, there's going to be rallies taking place at hundreds of schools. I'm going to be up at Oceanside with the parents and students of Oceanside and El Camino high schools. And I know many of the coaches will be there as well. Again, all with the same message. Follow the science, follow the data, let our kids get back in the classrooms and back on the sports fields that they love. Let our kids play. Thank you.